Hi, Sunday school friends. How are you guys? I've missed you this week. I know this week some of you may have ended your school year. I know some of you are ending it this upcoming week, and I want to tell you, good job, guys. I'm so excited it's summer for you. So this week we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of reading a story, we're going to just talk about one Bible verse. Well, two actually. But what it is they're pretty important. Because you remember where we're at with our stories right now is that Jesus is risen from the dead, and he's teaching his disciples how to start his church, our church. But soon Jesus is going to ascend into heaven, which means he's going to go in heaven, and he's not going to be there as a man to help the disciples, as an alive man to help the disciples. So, you guys remember back in the fall when we studied the 10 Commandments that Jesus' dad, God, gave everybody to live by? You guys know what the 10 Commandments are. Can anybody think of one commandment? I bet you can. Don't lie. Don't steal. Honor your father and mother. Keep Sunday a holy day. That sort of thing, you know? Well, Jesus added one more commandment or rule. And we're going to talk about that today. So I've written it out so we can see it too. And it says, love one another as I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. And this verse, guys, is John 13, 34 through 35. Now, I want to break it down a little bit and talk about what this means. So, Jesus doesn't just say love one another. He says, as I have loved you, so you must love one another. And this is important, guys, because we talk about this, that when Jesus says he loves us, or Jesus shows he loves us, it's not just that he's loving you when you're being good, or just when you're being kind, or just when you're making good choices, or when you're just happy and good and easy to love. Jesus loves you when you're hard to love. You know, when you're grumpy, or you're being unkind, or you're making bad choices, Jesus still loves you. Like, think about Peter, who we've been talking about. Peter made some choices that weren't the best, right? On the night before Jesus died, he said 3 times that he didn't even know who Jesus was. Remember when he was on the boat and he had faith and he walked in the water, but then his faith got not as strong and he sunk? Jesus still loves him. We heard about last week how Jesus loves him so much, and even though Peter made some mistakes, Jesus has chosen him to be a very important person in our church. And we also have, let's talk about Jonah. Remember Jonah and the whale? When God told Jonah, you need to go and you need to talk to the people in this really, really bad, scary city about me, and that they need to love me and that they need to turn to me. And Jonah didn't want to, so he chose not to. And do you guys remember what happened? He got eaten by a whale. But 3 days later, he got spit out and he went to the city and he changed his mind. So even if we make a bad choice or a wrong choice, Jesus still loves us. And what's more important too, guys, is Jesus says in this commandment By this, everyone will know you are my disciples if you love one another. So Jesus is saying here, by your actions, not by your words, but by how you act, how you love others, people will know you are a Christian. And I want you to think this week, when you're at home with your actions, do you think if somebody looked through your window and saw you in your house with your family, and how you're talking to your family, and how you're sharing with your brothers and sisters or cousins, and how you're treating them, or how you're treating your mom or your grandma, would they be able to tell that you're a Christian just by looking and watching you? I want you guys to really think about how you love this week and work on loving each other and your family and yourself like Jesus loves you. So that's your job this week. And I hope you have such a good week, and I hope you guys have such a good start to your summer, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Hey friends, wasn't the story that Miss Julia just shared with us one of the best ones you've heard? I think it's so important this time right now that we remember that so much, that we are to love one another as Christ has loved us. And that's what our song for today is going to be. And this is a song that we have sung in Sunday school before, but this is the first time that I have played it here for you on the piano. And the words are going to be on the bottom of the screen. So for those of you that are readers, you can go ahead and read the words along there. But this is love one another. All right, here we go. Take that song with you this week. Remember to love, love, love one another and be kind. We love you too, and we'll see you next week. Bye, friends.